Hi.
Dr. Hanes?
How are you two?
We're good.
Good.
Thanks to you.
Thank you, Sue. What I'd like to do is just kind of have you share a little bit of what I call your hero's journey, right? It's been an honor and privilege to work with you, but if you would just kind of explain a little bit about why you came to see me, what your diagnosis was, the options you were kind of weighing about which way to go and what swayed you to come this way. And yeah.
So a little over a year ago, I got a diagnosis of Alzheimer's. It was a huge gut punch. And the doctors we were seeing then talked about drugs, and for the rest of my life on drugs. And so we went and we started doing research, looked at books, and we found the book by Heather Sanderson about the Bredesen protocol. And then we figured out, where can we do that around here? And you were one of the options. And we were lucky enough to choose to come here. And since we started seeing you regularly, I think it was in June, I've not gotten any worse, and I feel like I've gotten better. It's hard to quantify. I have better energy. I have hope that the future isn't going to get worse. And that's everything.
Yeah. When you first came in, you were afraid to tell folks in your social circles about your diagnosis, and you were really scared and kind of circling the drain a little bit emotionally. Yes. And yeah, and like you said, it was a psychological gut punch.
Yeah.
It's like, oh crap, my brain's not. And you were having a lot of trouble with word finding.
Yeah.
And memory. And Steve, what were your concerns when she first came in?
Well, the diagnosis is a significant thing. It changes your world in some ways. In other ways, it doesn't. The obligation for every day is to get up and make the best of it. And this diagnosis impacts that, but it doesn't change my basic obligation on the day, and that's to make the best of the day. So we've got this diagnosis. What are you going to do with it? Well, you've got kind of three choices. You can do nothing. You can use the lecanemab and donanemabs and slow the rate of decline, or you can get proactive and try to turn the boat. Turns out that implementing some version of the Bredesen protocol holds the promise of doing that. So we're all in. We're doing the work.
Yeah.
And what I know is that we're going to die of something, and our goal now is to die of something besides the fallout from Alzheimer's. We're going to wear out, not rust out.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
And so from when you came to see me, how much better do you think you are as far as your energy, your mood, your cognition?
The energy's definitely better. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think my cognition has improved, and it took some months for me to think that. It sort of seemed to stay the same, it felt like, but I'm all in, and it continues to, I can maintain myself at a pretty high level. I mean, we spent the weekend with a whole group of people singing, and I had told one guy before that I had Alzheimer's. He's one of my best friends. The rest of the people, they have no idea. They'd be surprised to hear that I'm running around with Alzheimer's. And
well, you had a very high functioning brain to begin with. You have a science background. Tell a little bit about your.
Yep. I have couple of master's degrees. I've done sea ice research up in the Arctic, and it was pretty high level stuff. I was probably in over my head, but somehow it worked. So to have diagnosis of, your brain's gonna, things aren't gonna work very well was devastating.
And you pretty much told me that if it didn't get better, you'd just soon
Be gone.
Yep.
Absolutely. And I thought about that. And I will probably, I don't think about it much now, but yeah, I don't want to be here if I'm a lot worse than I am.
And you told me you didn't want to be a burden to this guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't.
Well,
He's got a good long life to go.
Yeah.
I want him to have a good wife.
And you know what, Steve? I told you from the beginning, and I think I told both of you, I knew we were going to win because he was here and he was all in to support you. And for this kind of diagnosis and to implement the Bredesen protocol, it's not easy.
Right.
And both people, because you're changing your diet, you're changing your lifestyle, you're taking fistfuls of supplements. But in order to do it and do it right, you got to have, it's got to be a team effort, right? And I'm happy to be on the team. You guys,
We make a good trio.
yeah. Well, and you have just come leaps and bounds, because what I saw when you first came in, you were going to the music groups, but it was an effort for you, right? And you weren't doing the sewing and the big. Right now, you're doing a
Quilting, weaving, yeah.
some complex patterns that
Yes.
really take a lot of cognitive.
Yeah.
And you weren't wanting to engage with that kind of stuff a year ago when we started, and now.
And now it's kind of going fast and furious.
And you guys are looking forward to a couple big trips here.
Yes. Well, the next one starts on Saturday. We're going to go to Utah to the Santa Fe Swell in the middle of sort of a big, wild
Don't let everybody
wilderness,
go in there.
Yeah.
and spend weeks there hiking
Yeah.
in very remote places. And then we'll go and we'll spend lots of time in big cities with family on the way home.
Yeah. And then
And then there's a second one.
in the second trip up into Alaska.
I've got a date with a cup of coffee in Dead Horse, Alaska, so we'll go meet that
And
date.
that-
So we'll spend 2 months on the road with a trailer
Yeah.
and just go camping and canoeing for about 8,000 miles worth of trip.
Yeah. And so might need an extra trailer just to carry all your supplements. No. But it's going to we've worked for a year to get to this point where, because you guys told me that, hey, here's the way we want to spend our last years. We've got these trips planned, and and you've been coming in as a patient too, and have lost some weight and are almost at your fighting weight here.
Optimizing systems.
Yeah.
These are the last years I got to be here. I might as well engage them as completely as I can.
Yeah.
But with your help, we're able to plan for this trip, and especially the long one, where we can be safe and I can continue to maintain myself and be healthy, and that's everything.
Well, and the lecanemab and those drugs, right? Best case scenario, they slow the progression, but it does continue to progress, because Alzheimer's, and if you listen to the medical literature, it's an uncurable progressive disease.
Yep.
It goes one way. With the Bredesen protocol, sometimes we're able to kind of turn things around, which I think with you we've done. Still, you'd like your short-term memory to be better, but in a year's time with a diagnosis and having MRI brain scans and stuff that you did, the medical standard of care, it probably would have progressed quite a bit already.
I would think so.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't acceptable.
No.
We had to find something different, and thank God we did. You and your help.
Well, thank you. But it really is. And you tell me that, and I always say it's a team effort, and it
Yes.
is. It is. You know, I'm the Sherpa. This is your Mount Everest to climb. I just help show you the best way. And thank you both very much. You are just a blessing to work with, and to see the team effort and to be a part of that team and to see how far you've come, man, it gives me goosebumps.
Thank you.
So thank you. And we'll check back in a year, maybe after you've had these 2 trips, and see if that brain's continuing to improve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. And I gotta say, it's good enough now.
Yep.
If it can get better, that's great. But
Yeah.
it's good enough, and we're not on the downhill slide.
So if there's anything in closing that you would like to say to anybody out there who is on the fence about, hey, I've got this diagnosis, which direction do I go? Who do I trust? What would be your words of wisdom?
If you can have some faith that things can improve, you need to find the Bredesen protocol and get somebody who can help activate that with you, because the alternative that we saw was drugs for the rest of my life and a decline, a measured decline. It's not okay.
Yep.
This gives me hope for the rest of my life that I can have a good life.
Yep. Yeah, the Bredesen protocol absolutely works. It's not easy. It's a lift.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's a lot of
But
work.
hey,
A lot easier to take a pill, right? Just take it.
Or what result do you want?
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
we live in a wonderful day and age where a person has choices, but you need to consciously choose and be ready to engage.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit back and let somebody else do it for you, but are those the results you want?
Right.
Make that choice.
Well, thank you both very